Africa. It is widely considered one of the fastest growing and most dynamic cities in all of Africa, actively chasing modernity and advanced technology and embracing innovation and progress. Dar es Salaam. It is among those cities where millions dream. They are stored here in a safe harbor. This city is filled with thousands of business opportunities, most of which are primarily focused on the selling and the buying of goods. Technology also creates many new and exciting online opportunities, which can generate significant income compared to other businesses. So yes,
that comes from what Forex trading. Forex trading is being actively done. Occurrences that if it goes up, I sell. If it goes down and you had sold, you make a profit. If it stays in Africa and goes up, you make a profit. If it goes the other way, you incur a loss based on what you did. Now, there is tests of Forex and what we do called online Forex, and the one that involves banks and bills called offline Forex, and that one is highly regulated. And these financial institutions, for example, the central bank, can wake up in the morning and officially set the rates at which the dollar will be sold, and then all the other financial institutions will diligently follow that established rate for the entire day. They have very strict regulations in place. The dollar will be sold at that set rate, but in reality, with online Forex, it's not that the rate will stay the same the whole day. The price of the dollar keeps rising and falling, and it's this fluctuation that people trade on online. If the price goes up, those who predicted correctly make a profit, while those who didn't may incur losses depending on their analysis and how they place their trade.
And then I got the license, and you have $1, just $1, meaning you can't come to Tanzania. Then we give you 100 Tanzanian shillings, because if it's $100, then give us 100 shillings. That's not possible, because we have to look at the exchange rate. We have to be able to measure the value of the dollar against your currency so that we can give you the correct amount. And in doing that, you'll come to realize that the value of $1 might be 2,500. So if we take $100 and exchange it for Tanzanian shillings, it could be about 250,000. That's what we call Forex, that we've taken the value of the dollar from dollars and brought it into Tanzania.
Cryptocurrency, for someone who doesn't understand it at all, if I explain it in very simple and straightforward language, I know there are a lot of intricate complexities surrounding this significant big event, but I will use simple language. Simply put, it is fundamentally money, just like any other kind of money. The only difference is just one particular thing. If we go further, it's not regulated and it's decentralized. And their bank or any authority, it's all about what you have. It's yours and you are the owner. If you compare it to USD, Tanzanian shillings or Kenyan shillings, the money you have isn't really yours. The owner is the US government. The USA is the owner of the dollar. Tanzania owns the Tanzanian shilling. But with cryptocurrency, what you possess is truly yours and you are the absolute owner. That's the simplest and easiest way to distinguish it. And that's precisely why it's straightforward. those of us who started early, we faced one main challenge, because there were a lot of scammers. But nowadays you can see that there are legitimate people out there, people who are teaching others, sitting with them, teaching them step by step, even in colleges. But for us who started a long time ago, we used to get scammed. Someone will tell you, send me $1,000 and I'll send you a certain course, but you wouldn't learn anything, or I'll teach you this and that, or invite you to some meeting. Who are you to give someone $1,000 like that? He's just bluffing. Another one is just like that, pretending to know everything, but only responds to posts online claiming he knows, and yet you pay him. What he teaches is something you already know. You could even read it yourself. So that's a challenge we've encountered. But the board, and in this situation from 2023, 2024, even up to 2025 and beyond, we know that in the coming years, there are people who already know and are teaching others. The legitimacy is there compared to us who started back in 2015, when it was very tough because we had to study a lot. And then you had a mentor who knew completely that if you encountered a certain challenge, go to say 10 people, maybe Mr. Someone X is the one who taught me. I could ask him, sir, I've encountered a challenge, what can I do? Back then there was no such thing, so if you faced a challenge, you had to look it up in books. And if that didn't help, you just had to tough it out, really tough it out. The material was very difficult and there were many hours involved.
What's first motivated me, I remember back in 2022, I was with a friend of mine who was working at a certain company. I think it was called Upato or something like that. If that's what it's called, maybe I shouldn't mention it. But it was one of those affiliation things where you invite someone, then they bring in another person and so on. And in that company, payments were made using cryptocurrencies, these digital currencies. So after realizing that there are these digital currencies, so I started following those clips to understand what they do. So basically at first I got involved out of curiosity to learn what digital currencies are all about. And after realizing that digital currencies have charts that show their value going up and down, I started to explore the industry and what it entails. So the more I tried to satisfy my curiosity by watching those clips, that's how I came to realize that there are people who are into crypto and there are people who are into Forex, which, as the name suggests, stands for foreign exchange. So that's when I started to notice those Forex charts and saw that the Forex charts looked similar to the crypto ones. So I started using Forex charts as a way to do analysis sometimes and things like that at that point in time. So it became clear to me that there was something called Forex, and I started watching lectures to understand more about it.
First of all, my age. Another thing, also to say, it was said that at that particular time, I didn't have a job or anything else significant to do, so I had a considerable amount of available free time. Consequently, I wholeheartedly dedicated myself to getting involved in that specific matter. And also, another thing was that on my part, I saw a great opportunity to really find myself, if you don't mind.
There was this one particular friend of mine, let me just say, she was a remarkable woman. She was a real ambitious go-getter. And she was an agent. So in the course of our extended and detailed conversation with her, she casually added, by the way, there's something quite significant and important called cryptocurrency. Things like Bitcoin, Salaam, and so on at that particular time. All I truly knew was Bitcoin, just Bitcoin, 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 because I deeply believed in it. She kindly guided me. I got genuinely interested, and I joined and started doing it. But as for Forex trading has been around since 2015.
Some of the young people who woke up early and tried out that online opportunity, they have a lot of experience, so they no longer fear the money they invest in these online financial exchanges. That's where things often happen. And perhaps this is indeed much safer than many other businesses, as long as you find the right people.
The first and most important thing is that everyone has their own system to protect their money. Most traders often find that Tanzania does not allow these foreign transactions because they are indeed controllable. We've seen that it simply cannot be removed, because if it truly cannot be removed, it means they are not profiting from our motherland. What has been done is that during Moscow time, we use crypto as a way to track, send, or withdraw money. We use this digital currency because firstly, it is safe, and secondly, the person involved remains anonymous. But it also can be received at any level I need, and the government completely fails to interfere. So it is registered that it can't point A to point B, so it sounds good, but they can.
We use brokers who are actually scammers, and among those brokers, there are some who are legit, regulated. When they have a broker who is in the league with a block that is being subjected to audit and a financial history institution. Now, who is regulating these people, or are we just distributing to scam? I opened an account and they increased the spread, meaning the entry cost to get into the market became different from what the actual market says. You might think you can make a big profit, but you don't know. They just tell you, I trust you, auntie, but you should know that $1,000 is required. They tell you that you can just deposit $100 or their friends or whoever with no verification, or who is above regulated, but regulated only in name, like electricity, meaning you deposit $1,000, it's $1,000, $5,000, and $5,000. You create the spreads. They all have reasons. When it comes to recruitment, they are very smart in their scripts. What they say is that they are cautious, especially now. Maybe they'll just say it's just a show, it's just model. They can't transfer or make a difference.
For something to truly qualify as a business, it must be able to consistently generate profit. These online financial exchanges have brought more than just profit to some young people.
First, let me say, from my perspective, I can say there's something you're looking for: freedom. They have tried to give me freedom in the sense that today, maybe I can say, because I am a young Swahili person and still at 60, I am not jobless. For example, I don't have a job, right? So it has given me that freedom. Maybe I can say, not today, you wake up maybe at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll call it a blessing when, for example, the time comes for the New York trading session. For example, someone who has a job or is employed actually has to wake up very early to get to work on time, right? So the first thing, the success that has come from Forex, we can say, is freedom. Another thing you could say, another achievement is that it has helped me overcome fear. It doesn't want you to be afraid of risk. We know that any business involves risk. So in the Forex market, we say we have those risks. These are very, very heavy risks. So it has helped me get rid of the fear of taking risks. So that is one of the achievements I have gained from this business.
For me, the biggest thing, let me just say, what matters most to me right now, I would say I have given knowledge to different people. And I have witnessed those I have helped. Today, I have seen that they don't have cars. They have bought plots, they have houses. So for me, that is the biggest development I have seen and contributed. I started counting a long time ago, but for me, my goals, like saying a car is development, for me, no, those are just ordinary things, a necessity these days. A car is not a big deal anymore. Something that is considered development as other people see it. As they might think, but the greatest development I can mention is perhaps my student. I have seen people succeed, some have moved from one level of life to another, and others. Let me give an example. There is one who is in Mwanza. He was employed He was laid off, then he started learning about crypto. He was introduced and learned about crypto. This is buy and sell. And this based on the lens, he just sells, buys, it's Lorette, he sells, and it even brings completed trades like other people. I guided him on how to do it in a positive way. Now, this guy has a house. He's started with plots and a house. He has a car. His children are in school from the business of just selling USDT. And when there are sales, Bitcoin, they don't go into Forex matters where I'd have to teach someone about candlesticks, how they rise, how they behave. Here, I'm just talking about this side of things. So as a Christian, if you ask me about development, I'll tell you honestly about revenue. And I often talk about it a lot because, as I always say, it's not a must because Frederick does Forex and Christ is greater. It's not necessary to just focus on these online things, trading and all that in order to succeed. My best advice is to buy USDT. I mean, these things, for example, that 60, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, he buys and sells. Why do you think their lives turn out the same?
First of all, the biggest thing I gained from Forex that may not talk about the tangible things yet. I'll mention those later, but for now, I'll focus on something intangible, though it's not less important. It has changed my mindset like a hyena. And the habit of ruining people, then you realize people become emotionless. When you start to be prostrate, you completely lose feelings because you can sit there and watch your money burn. And you're not supposed to feel anything. Whatever happens, happens. So you develop this heart of letting go to the extent that you cut ties everywhere and everyone sees you as worthless, because if you don't care, then it means you don't want it. That's the success I've gained from Forex. For things that are visible, I can buy a ship, or I've been able to buy a PC or get chairs that are good for the train so you don't hurt your back and things like that. And there are other developments I've made at home that I can't mention here, but there are some key points. 7, my parents have reached a point where they ask me what kind of business I'm doing because they see me as jobless. You know, like when someone asks, what do you do for a living? You tell them you're jobless, because if you say you do Forex, they say you're just playing Forex as if it's some kind of gambling, especially from an Islamic perspective. Forex is like a mine. It only works for those who truly believe in it. Don't tell anyone, just keep it to yourself.
As for the effect on my side, I've never actually done that, but I have certainly made a profit. It hasn't exceeded $20. And remember, I'm a student.
Is there any truth to the claim that Forex is like gambling?
What's the difference between the two? And what about crypto, Forex trading, and currency? A Forex ranger, when given the chance, can go and do business properly. But with gambling, you can't do business the way Alex does with his company. I don't know if he truly understands this. And another significant difference exists. Forex and crypto are based on education, but gambling or betting is based on luck. There's no knowledge involved there. What you use is just luck. It's like a lottery, 100%. There's no knowledge you use there like we've studied today or anything like that. There's nothing, it's just luck. You might say today that Simba will indeed win, right? You bet a substantial 10 million. And if Simba actually wins the match, you get 10 million, maybe 500,000. But if I took 10 million and wanted to use it in Forex, that's different. I could say, for example, EUR, USD, and if I lose, it's after I've studied the charts, all the indicators, done all the analysis and said this is gonna go down, but absolutely, it might still not work out. Because of the trend that was there and the differences, there are other factors if it goes differently. Even though everything looks the same, if it changes, there might be something like maybe no news has come out. Joseph did Forex trading thinking it was going up, but then it went down, even though he had checked everything, all the prices, read everything, and done all the analysis, but the market still went the other way. So we advise him that this is an event, but on the other hand, it's also a learning experience.
Forex is indeed gambling for one very significant reason, first and foremost. For something to be truly considered gambling, if you unfortunately lose, you lose absolutely everything. And if you are fortunate enough to win, you can potentially win a substantial amount because you are taking on a very considerable and inherent risk. So for example, people who actively bet know that in the realm of betting, they're the ones who ultimately decide how many precise odds to set for a particular match. And if the odds are, let's say, 2, it means if you're putting a sum of 10,000, you will then receive 20,000. If I'm successful and win, I will secure a profit of 20,000. So at the end of the day, if you unfortunately lose, it truly means the whole 10,000 is completely gone. That, my friend, is indeed gambling. However, in the realm of Forex, what actually happens is that we ourselves decide precisely how much risk to take, and we determine exactly where our profit will ultimately come from. And this is the very thing that many people who compare Forex to gambling often think makes them quite similar. It really depends on precisely how you approach it. I've met someone who told me, I want to enter the market just to make some quick lunch money for today. That is gambling. You're going to bet, because if you really have your own systems and a solid strategy, the strategy doesn't appear whenever you want. It appears or is set up at the time when the market conditions align for that strategy. So when you decide, I'm entering right now to get some money to eat or do something else, it means you're just betting. You're putting your money at risk, and that's what it's called, risk.
I told the young people one thing: they should do things that are different. In the land of big notes, try different things, try something new. We should do new things every day. Don't be afraid to try something new. That's the most important thing I tell young people. Because let me give you a good example from when it all started. Here, I always tell everyone that when I told my own man I was doing this thing, he just told me, how are you gonna do this business where you put a bundle worth 1,000 shillings back then? MBs were 500 or 1,000. One 1,000. One there's Dawoodi, $100. I don't know. Given the circumstances back then, people thought that if it were really that easy, then everyone would just buy a bundle, go online, claim to have made money, and that would be it. They would leave, but they forget that there's a learning process, there's a struggle you have to go through, so that they see themselves, they see you sitting there with your phone, looking broke, but on your computer you've memorized the analysis. They see you eating something, passing by, watching you, but it doesn't seem to bring anything new. The old man didn't know about that. But this time, when I sat with him, I showed him and told him, yeah, we're doing something, but who was the one telling me what? It's different, but now he tells you, young man, do things that are different, because if it's about selling, not many people are selling clothes. If you're selling something, you'll end up living the life of those who sell clothes. So for me, maybe that's why I advise my fellow youth to try new things. Don't be afraid to fail. That's how you get life experience. Let's not do things that are already known. Like you buy something and sell something, you'll end up living the life of buying and selling those things. But if we do things differently, we'll have a different kind of life. A different life, and our success will also be different, but it can come very quickly. Or if we go to SUA, Sokwan University of Agriculture.
With Forex trading, if you can get the right knowledge, it's a business that is as good as any other legitimate business, in the entire world. Now, if you become very well known there, right now we often see that many people say that Forex is a scam and things like that, but that truly comes from someone's personal mindset, for example. For me, what I clearly see causing people to say things like that is the pervasive way influencers on social media powerfully motivate people, which often leads those who genuinely don't fully understand the business to get deeply involved without proper knowledge. For example, today I might confidently say that Forex has given me a really nice house or a luxurious new car. So perhaps another young person sees that compelling video and gets incredibly excited very quickly. If I get in, then in a short time I'll get the same things too. Because of that, one-on-one, you often find someone jumping in headfirst without the right knowledge, without thoroughly studying, and that's how they end up losing. They get into things like signals, account management issues, and ultimately end up losing money and things like that. But if you get into the Forex business, you really have to try to seek the right knowledge. That is, you must do thorough research. I genuinely don't know what strategies people are using to end up like this. In general, there is no easy money at any time. You always have to struggle. There must be some sweat involved. Even in the Forex business, we can't say that we make money easily. You have to work hard, seek the right knowledge through research, find the right mentor, and be committed. Only then can you also get on the path to becoming a profitable trader.
At a time when the global market is changing very rapidly currently, from traditional retail businesses to gradually focusing more on online platforms, online security is not reliable for government institutions, for private entities, and for individuals. It is very difficult to adequately protect digital assets, especially for African countries that are still developing. Therefore, there are those who will benefit through online platforms. There are those who incur losses through online platforms. There are those whom the internet will empower with knowledge. And there are those who are manipulated and lost because of the internet.